What is having a drink really going to cost you? How are you guys doing today? My name is Apple, and today we are filling in the financial gap between schools and the real world. And today we're coming back with another installment of the True Cost series, this one about the true cost of alcohol. So before you hop on that dislike button and start smashing that and start writing hate comments, the point of this video is not for me to stand on a soapbox and preach at you about like the dangers of drinking or like why you should like never drink again in your life. That's not what this video is about at all. I just wanted to make this video to sort of illustrate where the average college student's money is going in their budget, just so that you're aware of this. This is just a video to make you more aware of where your spending is actually going. It's not a video for me to preach at you about why you should never drink again. Not at all. Just wanted to show you guys the true cost of alcohol, how it's going to add up over your college career and over your life in general, just so you're aware of where that money is actually going. Because I do think it's really important for people to know where their money is actually going. So without further ado, let us just hop right in. All right, so right off the bat, the average college student spends about $50 per month on beer, all right? So we're looking at a $50 number on beer every single month. That's what the average college student is typically spending. And right off the bat, I'm just gonna say again, I'm not telling you to not spend money on experiences or having fun, and I'm not telling you should never drink again. I just wanna illustrate where your money is going. Just had to get that disclaimer out of the way so that you don't just hop on that dislike and smash the hate comments right off the bat, all right? So stick with me here. All right, so we got our $50 per month number. That's about what we're gonna spend per month. How is that gonna add up over our college career? All right, so like we said, you're gonna spend about $50 per month on alcohol, which is going to add up to, if you can do math, it's going to add up to $600 over a year, which is going to add up to about $24,000 over a 40-year span. So say you drank alcohol from the age of 20 or 21, I guess, to the age of 61, and you had the average amount of you spent the average amount on alcohol every single month from the age of 21 to 61. That would put you at $24,000 in alcohol spending over that span. But is this number even realistic? I mean, for a college student, let's be real. Is $12.50 per week a realistic amount that you would actually spend on alcohol? So I think $12.50, what would that actually buy you? I mean, maybe like 2 drinks out. Maybe you get 2 drinks out for $12.50. If you're just getting beer, maybe 3. But drinks out, you could probably get 2 or 3. At home, I would say you could probably make about 8 to 10 drinks on $12.50. So maybe that's realistic for some people. But let's say you are a little bit above that. Let's say you have 5 drinks out every single weekend. Let's say that's your average. You go out maybe on Friday and Saturday. You have like 2 drinks Friday, 3 drinks Saturday. I don't know. We'll say that's a little bit more typical than just having 2 drinks out per weekend for a college student. Because personally, from my experience, I would say 2 drinks out per weekend is definitely not the norm. All right, so looking at 5 drinks, our numbers change a little bit. So with 5 drinks, we're gonna spend about $31 per week, as opposed to our $12.50 per week if we're just having 2 drinks out. That would add up to about $125. $125 per month, and that would equal $1,500 per year. All right. So if we average this out, if we step it up a little bit, I think the average college student, at least in my college, definitely has more than 2 drinks out per weekend. So we're gonna take that up to about $1,500 per year if you're having 5 drinks out every weekend. So say like 2 drinks on Friday, 3 drinks on Saturday. I think that's a little bit more typical, at least from what I have seen from my own personal experience. Now, if we take that out to 40 years, that's actually going to turn out to be about $60,000 throughout a 40-year span. So say again from 21 to 61, you're going to spend 60 grand on beer alone. I mean, as you get older, you're probably not just drinking beer. You probably have a little bit more sophisticated taste than a college student who is just going out and drinking beer on the weekend. But still, that's going to add up to about $60,000 from the age of 21 to 61. So that's what it's going to cost you monetarily, but what could you have actually done with that money? That's what this video is going to be about. So in this analysis that I'm going to be providing to you guys, I'm not going to be including stuff like medical expenses that could result from drinking, because drinking is obviously not the best thing for your body. There are probably going to be some medical expenses that come out of that if you are drinking throughout the entire course of your life. I'm not going to include the opportunity cost of other things you could have been doing not going to include the lost productivity of you being hungover the next day, none of that stuff, just straight monetary costs. What you could have actually done with that money is what we're going to be looking at in this video. Okay, so for numbers' sake, we're just going to stick with the average. We're going to stick with that $50 per month. And there's plenty of fun stuff that you can do today that you could actually remember with that $50. But what about tomorrow? What if we look at what you can do with that $50 tomorrow? Instead of just spending it today on something, on some experience today, what could you actually do if you, say, invested that money or saved it away for the future instead of spending it today? All right, so coming back to this $50, let's say instead of spending that $50 on alcohol, you decided to invest that $50 you got every single month that you didn't spend on alcohol for 40 years. Again, we're gonna go from 21 to 61. Say that is the age where you are drinking 2 beers every week. Say those are the ages where you are spending about $12.50 per week on alcohol, which again, probably like 2 drinks out or like 8 to 10 drinks at home per week. I'd say that's pretty realistic for most adults, maybe not for some, but for average sake, we're gonna stick with that $50 per month number. All right, so we've got our $50 a month. What do we actually want to do with it? What we want to do is we want to invest it into stocks. So I would say for the $50, we just throw in some index funds that track the S&P 500, which have historically returned about 10% per year. All right, so we've got a 10% return on our money over, again, we're gonna say 40 years. We're gonna say from 21 to 61, you take that $50 a month beer budget and you put that into stocks instead. All right, so remember, over that 40 years, averages, it's gonna cost us about $24,000 on alcohol. That's what we would have spent, but what could we actually get out of that if we invested that money instead? Well, if we invested it in stocks, which historically return about 10%, we are going to be left with about $320,000 by the age of 61. So you can turn that 24 grand that you would have spent on alcohol into $320,000. Now, what could you do with $320,000? You could buy a house. You could take a lot of vacations. You could raise 3 children on that amount of money. I mean, the average kid costs something like $100,000 to raise. So you could raise 3 kids on the amount of money that you would have spent on alcohol from the age of 21 to 61. And I think raising 3 kids, in my opinion, would be a lot more meaningful and fulfilling than drinking a couple drinks on the weekend. So that was just my 2 cents here. I just wanted to show you guys what the numbers actually look like, how much the average college student is actually spending on alcohol. You can assess this with your own situation, see if this is realistic for you, if you're spending more, if you're spending less. You can adjust these numbers accordingly. But I think it's important to prioritize where your money is going and where it could be going. Look at that opportunity cost of what you could be doing with this money and what you think the most productive way to be using your money actually is, because one of the most important financial things, in my opinion, is just knowing where your money's going and being okay with that and just being in control, feeling like you're in control of your financial situation instead of feeling like your financial situation is in control of you. So that's my 2 cents. And my bottom line is, again, I'm not saying quit drinking today. I'm not trying to preach at you guys about why you should never drink again in your lives. That's not what this video is about at all. Definitely go out, have fun, be safe, all that good stuff. But I'm just saying you should find a balance and just know where your money's going so that you can know if that's a productive way to use your money. If you're feeling fulfilled about the way you're spending your money, then great, keep on doing what you're doing. But if you're not, if you want to make a change, just know there are other opportunities for you. And if you're at all interested in investing, I've got plenty of other videos on the topic to explain that even further. So be sure to check those out as well. Anyways, thank you very much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. I think it might be a more controversial video, so I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about this. I'll be very interested in that. Leave a like, subscribe, share this video with a friend. I will see you guys tomorrow, and until next time.